All right, so about the dream. So there's actually two dreams. There's one in 2019 and one in 2024. This is the story of the 2024 dream, but the 2019 dream is relevant. A little bit about that. So in 2019, I finally commit to advice that was given to a friend, that was given to me by a friend years ago. She told me, hey, you should pray that God enters your dreams like he did in Solomon and have like a God given dream. And this was years before 2019. And me, procrastinating and, whatever, I put it off. But eventually in 2019, I decide, hey, I'm going to do it. So I get in a really good space. I mentally prepare. I pray the prayer. I read the scriptures, First Kings 3:5, and it's the dream where at Gibeon God enters Solomon's dreams. And long story short, like I take it really serious and I pray it. And the dream, like, doesn't really happen at night. In fact, I sleep through the whole night. And I wake up to my alarm at 7:30 and I hit snooze, a 5-minute snooze, and then from 7:30 to 7:35, it's like I got projected into this reality and the visions, dream, whatever you want to call it. It was vivid, it was lively, and it was so scary to me that I didn't want to dream or pray that prayer again. Once I came out of it, and if you're wondering about that dream, the dream in 2019, I'm going to make a follow up video where I get into detail about the 2019 dream. But the reason this is relevant and the reason I'm saying this is because it genuinely scared me. I was scared. How I felt throughout the dream and how intense it was. Whenever I came out of it, I immediately typed my friend. I was like, oh my God, this was crazy, blah, 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 blah. What's cool about that is that I ended up with a record. So it says on the email the day that I sent it, and I typed out the whole dream and everything, but that's for later. But the whole thing is that I was so scared that I'm like, I'm not going to do that again. Like in my mind, I was not going to do that anytime, and I did not plan on doing it anytime. Basically, I was just done doing that. And I did not do it until 2024. So I did it in 2019, got freaked out. Basically, almost 5 years later, that's how long it took for me to work up the courage to pray that same prayer and try to receive a God-given dream. Now, some of you may or may not believe it. That's on you. Like whether you want to or not, whether you're going to put your faith on this, that's on you. But I am telling you how things happen. I am telling you the story on how things went out and what exactly I saw in the dream. So the dream was two parts. And, well, first I pray the same prayer, I read the scripture, I get into a good space, and I go to bed and I go to sleep. And that night, like the dream, thank God, wasn't as intense, but it still was creepy in its own way and somewhat vivid. So I love basketball. And in the dream, I dream of Allen Iverson. Those of you that know basketball know about Allen Iverson, one of the greatest point guards. He had a sick crossover. That basically became his trademark move, even though he didn't invent it. Like he just revolutionized it so well that that's like an Allen Iverson move. And I dream that Allen Iverson is at the very end of like one of those belts that you put your food in at the grocery store, right? Target or Walmart or Sprouts, and you put your food, when you're waiting in line and it's going down the belt, right? So now imagine a long belt and Allen Iverson, the basketball player, is at the very end of that belt. And the things that are being put on the belt are like life things. Like, for example, like moments with your family, your favorite toys, your hobbies, the things you like to do on your free time, private things, like things that have to do with your life were in a way kind of like encapsulated and put on that belt, and they were coming to Allen Iverson, and in like surrealistic, like Salvador Dali way, like he was opening his mouth and just swallowing it, opening his mouth and swallowing it, and that was creepy to look at because it looked, vivid and real, but it was crazy how much he was opening in his mouth and eating these things. And that was the first part of the dream. Then the second part of the dream, it jumped to now I'm watching them play. So I'm watching Allen Iverson play basketball, and I'm also watching Kobe Bryant play basketball. So they're both on two different sides of the courts. So on one side of the court, Allen Iverson is doing like this crazy crossover move that he does, right? That he's known for. And he does it to one player, and then he does it to another player, and then he just drives the ball to the hole. Boom, and scores. In the other side of the court, you had Kobe Bryant just ram through people and do a slam dunk. And you know how Kobe Bryant does it, with authority, he just kills dudes. That literally was the dream. So I wake up and I'm like, what was that? Right? That seemed mild, definitely compared to the dream in 2019, but also mild in context. I was like, why about basketball? So the first thing I say to myself or to in my heart, like God, like I'm asking God, what does this mean? Because Joseph in Genesis says that only God can interpret dreams. So then I'm like, honestly, like, what does this mean? Like, what does this mean? And like in that sweet little soft, like kind of like silent, but almost like audible voice that kind of feels like it's your own, but it's so silent and so quiet that you kind of don't know, and you just hear, what's his nickname? So then I saw, like, oh my God, like immediately, like it came to mind when I heard that, when I thought of Allen Iverson, what his nickname was, which was AI. Some of you are like, no, his nickname was The Answer. That's correct. But he also went by AI. People call him AI. And that's the nickname that I knew him personally for. And I was like, immediately, like, it made sense. Allen Iverson. So when he's at the conveyor belt, when he's down that food belt and he's swallowing people, or he's swallowing all the lives of people, right? That's how we feed AI. AI is a beast. I'm not saying Allen Iverson's a beast, but AI is like a beast, an organism. And how does that organism grow? How does one feed that organism? Like, how do we give it food? We're giving it food with all of our life. Oh, hold on. I got a phone call. Hold on. Okay. We're feeding it food with all the stuff we give it. That's what we're doing. We're feeding it. We're the ones feeding this beast. This beast that's growing, that's going to become amazing. That's how we're feeding it. Now, in the second part of the dream, we have Allen Iverson. And now, since the key to the dream is the nicknames, Allen Iverson, AI, if you play with AI, it's going to double cross you. That's why, and drive you to the hole. The bottomless pit. The hole. If you play with AI, it's going to double cross you. It may seem fun in the beginning. It may seem innocent. It may be seen like, oh, okay, I'm just going with the rhythm. People are saying I'll be left behind. No, you're not. No, you're not. There's no playing with AI because it's going to double cross you. That's why he did 2 crossover moves. And that was very specific in the dream. It's going to double cross you. There's no playing with it. You think this is like benevolent, or it's not, or it's harmful. That's your innocence. You don't see where this is going. You don't see it right now, and you think you might see it, but even the experts are like, man, there's like a 20% chance it'll absolutely kill everyone. Like, that's not a joke. And 20% chance is huge. Would you get on an airplane if the flight attendant said, hey, there's a 20% chance this thing crashes? That it doesn't fly, it literally just while it's in midair, it just nosedives to the ground. 20% chance, that means 1 out of 5. That's what, but I think it's higher than that. But that's literally what these guys will admit to you. There's no playing with AI. And on the other side of the court, Kobe Bryant slams dunked the ball, right? What's his nickname? Black Mamba. The Black Mamba, one of the most venomous snakes. This is a fruit of the snake, AI. It's literally a fruit of the snake in the garden. For those of you that believe, I'm speaking to you. For those that don't believe or don't believe me, it's fine. That's your choice. You decide. I can't make anyone believe in what I'm saying or even believe that what I'm saying is true. So at the end of the day, you're going to have to discern this. You're going to have to be the one that decides. So I'll ask you this. I could be lying, making this up just for fun, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what your reason would be for me doing this. But let's just say I'm lying. Okay, cool. But let's say I'm not. Let's say every single thing I told you here was as it happened in real life. Then that means that was a God given dream, and this was your warning. This has been JC Barba. Peace.